Hello everybody. This is a quick video to remind our sophomores and show our freshmen how to back up documents. So, first of all, you need to know that you do need to back up your work. Over the summer, your computer is going to be reformatted. What this means is we will wipe off all information from your computer, operating system, and everything. All files will be lost, and then the operating system will be reinstalled. This is done to overhaul the system and keep it running efficiently. Also, some of you have gotten a little bit of malware type software on your computer from some of the websites you choose to visit. So this will wipe all that off and put everything back to square one. But just so you understand, anything that is not backed up to an external source will be lost. So you have to back up your information before you turn in your computer on May 13th. There are several ways that you can back up your computer. Three of the ways I'll highlight right here. Email. You can email files to yourself. This is a pretty good method if you only have a few files that don't require a lot of space. So if you've got, a few papers you want to back up, maybe a couple of PowerPoints, nothing too big, you can email those to yourself. Not a bad way to keep up with stuff, but it's also not very organized. You can use a thumb drive. A lot of people are familiar with thumb drive or flash drive, and you can transfer them to a USB thumb or flash drive. This is a good method for a large number of files, especially photo and video. Also, this drive can be plugged into other computers, so you can get to your work, which is nice. So you can keep that thumb drive in your possession over the summer, and if you want to access anything, you'll have access to it. The third method is using the cloud. You can upload your files to cloud storage. This is a good idea because then there is no thumb drive to keep up with. Also, thumb drives can break, meaning you might lose all of your files. Cloud storage is done redundantly, which means typically you don't lose anything. Cloud storage does require internet access. So if you choose to use cloud storage and you don't have internet at home, you will not be able to access any of your files unless you're at a computer with internet access. So be aware of that. If you want to be able to get to your stuff and you don't have internet, then you may choose thumb drive. But if you have internet at home and you just want a simple way to back stuff up, then pick cloud storage. So, which one should you pick? Well, personally, I would pick cloud storage. There are several kinds of cloud storage out there, and I would pick Google Drive, so here's why. Well, Knox County gives you a free Google Apps for Education account, which comes with Google Drive, and it's free and unlimited. It's truly an unlimited amount of storage in the cloud, so long as you are a student of Knox County schools. So when you become a graduating senior and you're no longer going to be with Knox County, I'll be providing you with information on how to get your stuff out of your KCS Google Drive account and into a personal Google Drive account. Your files will be accessible in Google Drive year after year if you keep things in the cloud. So if you go ahead and integrate your lifestyle into the cloud, then each spring you won't have to worry about backing a bunch of stuff up because your stuff will already be in the cloud. But could I just use my Dropbox account? Well, yes, you could, but Dropbox is something you have to pay for unless you go with the very, very basic version, which I think is only like 3 gigs or 5 gigs. So if you don't have much space that you need, then that's an option. But if you have 10, 15, 20 gigs worth of stuff you want to back up, then you're going to have to pay for storage with another proprietor, or you're just going to have to use the free Google Drive storage you have in Knox County. So how do I do this? Well, I'm going to show you how to back up through Google Drive because that's the method I think that you should pick. So that's the method I'm going to show you. Any other method that you want to choose is fine, but you'll be responsible for those methods. So here's a quick list of how to back up your files. First thing you need to do is you need to organize your files. We're not going to drag and drop like 50 screenshots off of our desktop. We need to make sure that everything is organized to make this simple. Make sure that you have Google Chrome as a browser. If you do not, you can go into your self-service app, log in with your Active Directory information, and download Chrome. If you don't have the self-service app, you need to see Mr. Ford. He can make sure that self-service has been installed, but my impression is that he took care of this last fall, so everybody should have self-service. You'll go to drive.google.com and you will log in with your Active Directory username and password. And actually I said that mistakenly. This is not Active Directory, so I'm going to take this. You're going to log in with your email address and password. The same thing you would use for Office 365 is the same thing that you will use for drive.google.com. So it would be your S number, like for example S747855 at student.knoxschools.org. And then you would type in your Active Directory password. The same thing that you use for Office 365 works here. Please make sure that you're logged out of all other Google accounts in Chrome. Okay, you want Chrome to be the only browser associated with your KCS account. And then you can use Firefox or Safari for your personal Gmail accounts. I'm not saying you can't log into those, just use a different browser. And then once you're logged in, you can drag and drop the folder that you've organized everything into your Drive account. Here are some things to be aware of. This process will take different amounts of time for everyone because of size. Okay, only back up what you really need. If you take a bunch of screenshots of silly stuff, like stuff you've seen on Twitter or Tumblr or whatever, we're not interested in backing all that up. Just trash that stuff, get rid of it. That's not what we're interested in here. Don't start this process at 4:25 right before you get on the bus. Having the internet signal go in and out during this process could cause issues. And if you want to make sure that your stuff is backed up, you need to give it time to work without doing anything else. The best thing you could do would be to start this process right before bed at night. Leave your laptop in on the kitchen table plugged in so it doesn't lose battery power, and just let this process run while you sleep. This would of course require you to have internet at home. If you don't have internet at home and you depend on internet at school, then what I would recommend is when you get off the bus and you get into the cafeteria, start this process in the cafeteria in the morning before first period starts, and then just let this process run as you go from class to class to class. If you're not backing up very much stuff, it should back up in less than a day, and you should be okay. All right, so I'm going to model this for you so you see what I'm talking about. So you'll see what I've done is I have a folder here on my desktop called CMA 2015-2016. If I open it up, you see I have folders inside of it where I've been organizing my materials. If I go into my English folder, you see I've got a couple of papers that I have written. If I go into my math folder, you'll see I have my shade ball research that I did last fall. If I go into science, you see I've got my PBL presentation that I did for Ms. Schindler. And if I go into social studies, you see I've got the World War II research that I've done. I've got sitting in a Word document. Okay, so this is just for example's sake. I would expect you to have a few more files than this, but I just want you to see what it looked like when I said organize your stuff. Okay, get it organized and keep it simple. So I'm going to close this now, and then I'm going to go into Chrome. I'm going to go to drive.google.com. So I'm going to open up a new tab, go to drive.google.com. Hit enter, and you'll see it's going to log me into my Drive account here. If it doesn't log you straight in, then type in your S number, email, and your password. You may have to retype in drive.google.com after you've logged in, because it may talk to you about how much storage you have, but you can figure that out. Just type the email address or type the website in again after you've logged in if you need to. You'll know you're in the right account because it'll say Knox County Schools Information Technology up here on the left, and it should have the picture. If you've set up your Google Plus account, you'll have your picture over here. I also said in my presentation that you need to log out of all other accounts. So if you click this icon up here, the only account that I'm logged into is my Knox Schools account. Notice there are no other accounts. If there were, I would sign out of them now. Okay. Now the reason I picked Chrome is because it supports drag and drop folders. What that means is I can take this folder, I can drag it here, and it's going to upload them to my Drive account. Okay, so watch what I do. I'm literally going to drag it here. I'm going to let go. You'll see that it's uploading, and like I said, this will take a different amount of time for each person because of the amount of files, and it says I have one upload complete. So now if I go here, I'm going to look for CMA 2015-2016, which is right here. Open that up. You see I've got English, Math, Science, Social Studies. If I go to English, I've got 2 papers. If I go to Math, I've got my shade ball research. If I go to Science, I've got my PBL presentation. And if I go to Social Studies, I have my World War II research right here. Okay, so that's as simple as it could be. so long as you have everything organized on the front end. So let me remind you or show you why I recommend that you use Chrome, because some of you are a little stubborn at times and you need to see why. So I'm going to go to Safari. If I can find Safari, I'm going to open up Safari. I'm going to go to drive.google.com. I'm going to go to Google Drive, so I'm glad I'm doing this because you can see what it looks like to log in. So I'm going to log in as myself. Deny. Okay, I'm going to type in my password to get logged in. Okay, I don't use this browser, so I don't care to stay signed in. And I don't save my passwords because then I just forget them. Alright, so I'm logged into my Drive account. I don't really want to back this folder up, so I'm going to click it and remove it. Now, I'm logged into Drive on Safari, so I'm just going to take this folder, copy over here, and you'll see down here on the bottom it gives me a message. Folder upload is not supported by your browser. Consider downloading Chrome. Okay, so if I'm going to force myself to use Safari, then I'm going to have to create all those folders myself, and then I'm going to have to go in, and I'm going to have to open this, open up English, and I'm going to have to drag this paper over, and then drag this paper over, and I'm going to have to drag my files over separately. Okay, the best I could do is if I had 20 files in one folder, I could select them and drag them over together. Okay, but Chrome supports folder-based upload, which makes this process much simpler. So I highly recommend that you use Chrome. All right, and then that's pretty much it. That's how I would back up my files, and that's where I would back them up to, because then next year you can just go to drive.google.com, sign in, all your stuff is waiting on you. Okay, I hope this video was helpful. Make sure that you back up all your files by May 13th. Let me type that date out just in case anybody didn't hear me. I'm going to do a new slide, and it's going to say, when is computer or device collection? Okay. It is May 13th, which is Friday, and it's going to be in the afternoon from like 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Okay, so we'll be taking up devices Friday afternoon, May 13th. After the awards ceremony, we'll do a couple-hour lunch where we'll do yearbook distribution, and you guys will be able to kind of sign yearbooks and hang out, and then we'll be taking up devices during class time that afternoon. So, make sure that you're ready. If you're not ready at that time, then you're just out of luck and your device will be wiped over the summer. You have just over or just under 2 weeks to get this taken care of, which should be plenty of time. Hope everybody has good luck. You can see Mr. Ford or myself if something in this video did not make sense and you need some more specific help. But other than that, have a great day.